Good afternoon, family. We have to talk about this situation here. We got to talk about this. What happened to our brother, Nolan Wells? What happened to that young man? But before I get into it, I want to give parents something to think about. I think a lot of things like this happen because we have so many people on the internet whose job it is to lie, to lie, to misinform. When you have information prepare you to make better decisions. Information prepares you to make better decisions. When you don't have correct information, there's a good chance you're going to make a bad decision, whether it be buying a home, buying a car, putting together some furniture, whatever it may be. Good information is valuable. And I think a lot of people walk around this country with bad information. You ever heard the saying, the enemy is within? The enemy is within. Nolan Wells is a great example of that. So before I elaborate on this discussion, let me first give you some information. This is for the Center of Disease Control, the CDC. Matter of fact, it's the CDC Wonder Mortality Database. This is what you need to understand about murder. You ready? White people kill white people at a 80+% rate. Black people kill black people at a 80-90% rate. Most murder is interracial. Okay? 84% white, 88% black. 12 to 13% of those people murdered are by family members. Okay? Over 70% of the people who are murdered by someone they know. Because murder is personal. It's personal. But if you listen to certain people, they like to give you a big bad wolf. They want you to believe that murder comes from the outside. It's going to be this black man climbing through your window. No, it's going to be your uncle. It's a greater chance of being your uncle. It's going to be your neighbor. It's going to be your friend Bob. Most murders are personal. Please teach your children this. The person who's going to cause them harm usually going to be somebody they know. That brings me to this brother, Nolan Wells. I don't know his parents. I don't. But I think they thought him being around a bunch of white kids, maybe they thought it was safer. My point in reading those crime statistics was to show you that that is not true. What do we know according to the CDC? Most murders are personal. It's going to be committed by somebody you know. A friend. What I told you, 12 to 13% of murders are family members. Family members. Let me teach you something else. You ready? Murder in America is very rare. No. Yeah, it's very rare. Not even about 15,000 murders in America each year. That sounds like a lot, but it's, that's too many, don't get me wrong. But that's 0.0059% of the American population. Let me repeat that again. 0.0059% of the American population. That's what it is. You got just as many people dying by DUI deaths, meaning people drunk killing people on the highway. I don't know his parents, but I wouldn't be surprised. They like a lot of parents in America. They don't know facts. They don't know those kids that your children hanging with. I want you to look at them. Mom and daddy, get your ass and go look at them. Because if something happened to your son and daughter, it's going to be one of them. According to the statistics, it's going to be one of them. It's not going to be a boogeyman. Ooh. It's going to be a friend. They say that boy, they say Mr. Nolan wanted to stay on the island, but they had his cell phone. They say he wanted to stay on the island, but they had his cell phone. Now, I don't know about you. If I'm going to stay on a damn island while my friends leave, and I'm going to watch them leave and not have my cell phone, oh man, something ain't right. Something not right. But what did his parents do? Am I blaming them for his death? No. What are their thought processes when it comes to danger? Did they think having their kids hanging around white kids that was safe? Well, if they understood crime report and crime data, they realized the answer to that was no. Because if most murders are personal, it don't matter if a white person hang around a black person or a black person hang around white people, the percentage stays the same. You still most likely to be killed by somebody you know. 12 to 13% of that are family members. This whole thing sounds fishy. Because, I don't know, were they even his friends? Come on, y'all, let's talk. How many people you hang around with truly are your friends? Sometimes you may be friends of convenience. Let me give you an example of that. I remember when I was working as a teenager, I got a lot of so-called friends. You know why? Because I met them at work, and I ended up being their transportation back and forth from work. Now, was those guys truly my friends, Or were they friends out of convenience? What, we friends because we play football together? Are we friends because we take the same social studies class? Was he my science mate? What type of friendship did Nolan have with those guys? Because we know it wasn't a friendship of compassion or love, because it ain't no way in hell they would have left without their boy that they loved and cared about. No way in hell they would have left without their boy who they loved and cared about. You know that type of friend when you have love for him. You would have sat on that goddamn island like Gilligan if you had to wait for him to do whatever he had to do. Come on, people. Let's talk. You'd have been on that bitch like Lost. You'd have been Tom Hanks and Mr. Wilson. Come on, man. If it was love and compassion friendship, that friendship that says, man, you crazy as hell if you think I'm leaving here without my boy. Maybe just one of the other guys would have said that. Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all think I'm leaving here without my boy. If he stay, I'm staying. But all of them got on that boat and left. All of them got on that boat and left his ass on that island like he was goddamn Gilligan. They left his ass right there. And had his phone. And I'm declining to say, took his phone. So they can erase some evidence out of it. Because it could be kind of hard to drown with a phone. Because you would have had to explain why was a person swimming with a phone. Wait a minute. Because you would have had to explain why was a person swimming with a phone. So you had to take the phone. You had to concoct some story that he told you to take the phone. Because your brain is still young. You can't think very fast. Your brain is still developing, matter of fact. That decision-making part of your brain is still developing in young men. I think a woman, it develops at 25, 26, that part that controls, judgment, thinking things through. So we know these young men was young. So they had the phone. But we see the law enforcement was quick to say it was an unfortunate accident. This was an unfortunate accident. What happened to that brother? What happened to Nolan Wells? What happened to him? What actually happened? I don't care if you're white, black, Mexican, Asian, red, blue, green, or yellow. Anybody would want to know. Any brother, any sister, any mother, any father, any uncle, any auntie, any cousin, any acquaintance, a classmate, a workmate. What the hell happened to Nolan Wells? What happened to him? What happened? Did his parents make bad judgment a long time ago based on social media, the liars, the people that push these fake crime numbers, people that don't tell you the truth? Parents, please please just listen to me. Talk to your children. Please let them know, hey, babe, I know you love your friends, but if something happened to you, it's going to be one of them. That's the hard part to even adjust as a parent. Kind of scary. But unfortunately, me, as a black male, that reality hit me. Because my sister was murdered in 2006 in Jacksonville, Florida. And guess what, y'all? Wasn't no stranger. Wasn't no Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. It was some dude that she knew, that she worked with. That's what it used to be, ladies and gentlemen. 84% of white people who are murdered by other white people. 80 to 90% of all black people who are murdered by other black people. 70% of those people murdered knew the person who murdered them. That's a scary reality I think a lot of people don't want to accept. So they rather accept the boogeyman, Ray from the hood, gonna come over here and kill my daughter. Because it's hard to swallow that pill, isn't it? Damn. 12 to 13% are family members? Family members killing each other? Yes. 13%, between 12 to 13% of murder victims are killed by their family members. It's going to be somebody you know. You ever see your children or your loved ones at a party or a cookout or some type of festival? I want you to just sit around and think, mom and dad, and listen to me. Just sit there and watch their friends. And then think this to yourself. Man, if something happened to my daughter's son, it's going to be one of these motherfuckers right here. Just think, just be looking deep. It's going to be one of them. Because see, it's easy because what happened is, look what Nolan parents allow him to do. Get on the boat. What they say, 15 to 30 miles away was this island. Get on the boat with some people who they thought was his friend. So that means they actually deceived the parents as if they gave a shit about Nolan. So parents use this for a learning situation. Think about your daughter's friends. Now you should be looking at them side-eyed. Oh, Mrs. Johnson, can Amber go with us to the camping site? We're going camping, me, Dorothy, Amber, Denise, and Kelly. And you look at them and say, nigga, the four of y'all gonna go camping in that goddamn backyard. Enjoy yourselves, because she ain't going nowhere with y'all at all. No, she can't. No. Sorry. Because statistics tell me that if something happened to her, it's going to be one of you. You got to start watching your children's friends very closely. As if for yourself when it comes to your friends. Because it's not an age disparity. The data says what the data says. They don't give a determination of age. Most people are murdered by someone they know. Most murders are personal. Why? That's why murder is almost, and I'm quite sure any law enforcement personnel, listen to me, they would say this true. That's why murder is almost impossible to stop. Let me say this again. That's why murder is almost impossible to stop. I gave you those crime statistics for you to finally focus on yourself. Focus on your children's friend. Don't worry about outside people. That's not the people going to kill your children. Those are not the ones who are going to kill your children. It's a reason why if a spouse dies, the first person they look at is who? The husband or the wife. It's a reason for that. It's a reason why if your child die, the first people they're gonna be looking at, friends, acquaintance, people that know them. Because law enforcement know damn well the Jason Voorhees character, the Michael Myers character, those very rare. It happens. You saw that guy who killed them kids in that dorm room. It happens. But usually, it's friends, family members, acquaintance. Understanding statistics can help keep your children safe. Stop looking outside for danger. It's right there. They right there under your nose. Once again, if you know most murders are personal, that means your son and daughter probably already sitting around a murderer. Just like Mr. Nolan probably was. Think about it. All this time he was sitting right there around his soon-to-be murderer or murderers. Think about it. Let me hit y'all with a few more statistics. And a lot of this stuff is very important to know. But like I told you before, murder in America is very, very, very small percentage, 0.0059%. It's about 15 to 16,000 murders in America a year. Over 70% of them are personal, people who know each other, acquaintance, family members, friends. You have to understand that. But you got people on this internet whose job it is to lie and misinform. That's what their job is. I can't say what happened to Nolan Wells. But what I can say is that he thought he was safe. He thought he was among friends. He thought that. He thought he was around people who loved him. At least cared about him. But we never know what people have in their heart, what crazy desires or crazy jealousy they can be holding. I remember, and I know I'm going to out myself by saying this here because it was a very exclusive case that if you hear my voice, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It was this girl. She had a beautiful friend. Not going to say the names. All of a sudden, her friend gets shot in the face and killed. And so the friend who was with her, when the officer was asking her to describe the person who did it, she was describing herself. In the story, she shot her friend. She shot her beautiful friend in the face because she was jealous. All them years, she was jealous of her friend. And it was so cold because she shot her in the face. And it was her friend, her so-called good friend. Murder is personal. Nolan Wells, unfortunately, found out what so many people find out each year. Parents, watch your children, friends. Get off the internet and let people lie to you about this big black boogeyman that's going to harm your child. Most murders are interracial, meaning it's done by people of the same race. And remember, it goes up because what? Most murders are personal. It's people you know. It's not a boogeyman. What happened to that brother right now, what we're hearing, with the little information we have, it makes no sense. It's making no sense. The part with the cell phone really is the icing on the cake for me. How did y'all end up with his cell phone after you told the cops that he wanted to stay on the island? Parents, you know your children in that damn cell phone. Yeah, I'm gonna just stay on the island. Y'all can take my cell phone with you. Come on, man. Come on. Something not adding up. I just feel sorry for so many people in this world, in this country, that's just being lied to. They put their sons and daughter in danger every day. Keep lying to them about crime, talking about per capita, all this stuff that has nothing to do with you personally. I just keep scratching my head. What the hell does per capita have to do with white on white murder? How is that going to help you? How you sending your son around people thinking if he hang with this group, he's going to be safer when we know most murders are personal? Oh, God. Come on, people, think. If most murders are personal, that means wherever you at, your murderer already there. They sitting there with you smiling, they eating. You got beautiful young ladies around here. There's some old creepy ass friend who are thinking about raping you tomorrow. Your parent have no idea because your dad and mama, they don't let they guards down. He just sitting there lusting you. That's why it's important to talk to your children about things like that. Because if your daughter, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna tell your parent, I'm gonna give you a heads up, especially mamas. You got a daughter. See as your daughter into sexual activities, because she may be. Don't never get your children afraid to talk to you, because she may tell you, "No, mama, I don't want to have sex right now." She may even say, "Mama, I don't want to have sex till I get married." And as a mama, especially if you know whether she's beautiful or not, if you know your daughter attractive and she talking like that, you better be careful as hell around her male friends. You better make sure you eyeing them like a hawk. Because did you not hear your daughter? She's saying she don't want to have sex until she's married. You know your daughter beautiful, right? Some of them male friends you think, yeah, I want that ass. Let's be honest. I don't see girls set themselves up in those situations. And I know girls listen to me, they know I'm telling the truth. How many do you think? Because the mama let their guard down. Oh, it's just Kyle. Oh, it's just Corbin. He's a nice young man. Mom, Corbin want me to go camping with him for a week. Girl, sit your ass down. No. Sit your ass down. Hell no. You and Corbin ain't going nowhere. Y'all going in that backyard and camp. No. Mama, daddy, wake up. God damn it. No. No. I'm 16. I don't give a shit. You were 6 and 6. No. No, you're not going camping with Corbin. And Kyle. No, you're not. You just told me you wanted to wait. You have to get married to have sex. You think Corbin and Kevin, they got them same plans? No. 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 No, 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 no. You can record this parent. I'll be you know. Them old boys say I'll be your huckleberry. I'll be you know. No, 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 no. You can't go. Hell no. No. Nope. Of Nolan was my son? Nope. Where you going? Where you going with 13, 14 miles to an island on the boat with who? No, dog, you sit this without Captain. We'll spend the 4th of July together. That's why I tell parents, hey, make sure you keep your life festive. You understand what that means? Keep your life festive. No, man, well, we got tradition here. We having cookout and fireworks at the house. Sit your ass down, Nolan. No, sir, you can't go. Just understand crime reports. Remember, it's usually the friends, usually the acquaintance, unfortunately, even a family member. Keep safe. Check out those statistics. You'll learn a lot. You'll understand a lot about statistics. CDC got everything you want. It's all on the government database. Let's go look it up. Hopefully we'll find out what happened to this boy and his family can get some justice. I know the pain because I've been through it when my sister was murdered in Jacksonville. I know the pain. Trust me, I do. You feel almost helpless. You think about what can I have done different. You kind of dream of the scenario, you fixing it. So just wish the parents well. We'll talk soon.